Okay, so in Islam, I know a Muslim man can marry a Christian woman or a Jewish woman, but not the other way. So a Muslim woman cannot marry a Christian man or a Jewish man. Why is that?
Okay, so again, for any type sort of wide question, right, remember one thing, that look, I'm just basically making it based on my own research, my own understanding of the world, right? So if I give you 4 wisdoms behind it, doesn't mean that these are the only 4 wisdoms, right? If you ask someone else, there may be another 10 to it. And maybe no one knows the complete wisdom except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but we can try to appreciate it as we start reflecting on it. But first and foremost, like, again, this is something that's permissible, right? It's permissible for men to marry a Christian or a Jew women, okay? But is it ideal? No, right? So it's never ideal, because look at it, like at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. If you understand that the purpose of this life is for you to go to paradise, right? Would you choose a partner that will not help you get to paradise? Or that will not be good?
Obviously, I'm going to choose the partner, that is better for me and my kids also, teaching wise, and Islamically, this is what I want. But yeah, obviously I'm going to choose a person that's going to help me go to Jannah.
Exactly, right? Now here's another example. I like to use this analogy. Imagine you're stranded on an airport, you're waiting for your next flight, right? But you have a lot of time, you're hanging out, maybe you meet someone, you might marry that person on the airport. Imagine you're living a long time on the airport, right? But then if you pick someone, and after a few hours, she's going to, some underdeveloped, country with, existing war going on there, and you're gonna go to like, Bermudas, or, taking your vacation in your dream destination, would it make sense for you to pick a girl that will not be joining you on that vacation, right? So likewise, it wouldn't make sense for a Muslim man to do it, right? It is permissible, yes. Now, why is it permissible? If you look at it, because a lot of time people would travel, right? They would travel, and then a man have this desire for intimacy and so on and so forth. So it's an option that's there. So look, if you have to use it, you can use it, but it's not an ideal situation. So if this wasn't there, then the person is very restricted, especially if they're traveling to a country where there is no Muslim, and they're traveling for business or for the propagation of Islam and so on and so forth, right? But that's not the ideal scenario. Another thing in general, and this does not apply if you look at it from a Western lens, but in general, especially at that time, men had the upper hand. They were the ones who would earn and raise the family and have the authority in home. That does not exist so you have to remember from looking at it from different historical times as well as culture, right? Yeah. So it was easy that, even if you have kids, you can raise them as Muslims, or you can have Islamic values in home, right? Which would not be very trivial for women and so on and so forth. So again, if you look at it from that perspective, and remember, it's a permission, it's a relaxation of the situation for men, but it's not the ideal scenario. And especially in today's world, where, especially in the Western context, either you're equal or the women have an upper hand, right? They run the show. So it wouldn't make sense. But again, just remember, it's permissible, not the ideal. And when things are made permissible, it makes it easier for certain people, right? So yeah, so I hope that makes sense. Yeah.